Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you guys are happy and healthy. Today we are answering the question about how many employees you should have in your business. But before I dive in, if you guys are new to the channel and you don't know what I do or who I am, over the last 10 years, myself and my company has had the pleasure of running our own juice concepts as well as helping hundreds of people all over the world launch and scale successful juice bars, acai bowl businesses, smoothie businesses, food trucks, you name it, we've done it. All the information on this channel is coming from that wealth of experience. Early invitation, press the like button. It supports you, it supports us. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and now let's dive in. So you are pretty early on in your business. Maybe you haven't opened your storefront yet, and you're asking yourself, how many employees should I have for my juice bar? How many is too many? How do I know if I don't have enough? Well, there's a couple things that you need to be aware of in order to make sure that you staff your business appropriately. So the first thing that you need to know is that employees, also known AKA labor in your business, we can say from a labor dollar expenditure standpoint, is all related to your top line revenue. So how many employees you should have for a juice business relates to how much money are you expecting / projecting to make. Because a juice business that's planning on making $500 a day needs far fewer employees than a juice business that's doing $5,000 a day. Naturally, you're talking about 10x the amount of sales, and it might be, 7x the amount of work. So that's the first question. And then the next question you might be asking yourself, or therefore me, is, well, how do I know how much money my business is going to make? And the reality of the situation is you don't. There are ways to get better at making projections in your business, right? So if you have a business plan or you need support with that, reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. But you can't tell the future, but neither can I. So you can look at averages. Maybe there's other juice businesses in your neighborhood. Maybe there's a gym close by, and you can start to figure out what percentage of people will come to your business from that place to start making estimates. But you're going to be wrong. The question is, how wrong are you? But the other point is not to say that you have to get this number right away, but you have to eventually balance things out when it comes to your sales. And then therefore, your staff will also balance itself out. The very first phase of you opening your juice business is going to be the most volatile because you have no historical data, you have no historical experience. It's going to be a lot of bringing things into focus and finding that equanimity within your processes, within your staff, within your labor, within everything. But let's just give you an example so you understand how to think about staffing. So the very first thing that you need to be aware of is that when it comes to your staff, you don't want to have all full-time employees, and you definitely don't want to have all part-time employees. In my perspective, the ideal ratio of full-time to part-time employees is somewhere between 60% full-time to 70% full-time, and 30% part-time to 40% part-time. Now, you can't always control this because you just sometimes have what's available to you. But in an ideal world, this would be the way that the spread would break out. And the reason that you think about things this way is because obviously, if you have all part-time employees, you're going to need more people on your staff as a whole because you need more people to fill up those fewer hours. In the same way, if you have more full-time employees, you need fewer people. Why is it good to have some part-time, some full-time? Why? Because if you had all full-time employees and let's say somebody quits, now you have to replace them with someone else who's full-time and there's no one that's part-time that can jump in and fill in their hours. So it's going to force you to scramble. And then your full-time employees are going to potentially feel more pressure as well because let's say you have an event coming up and there's some other unexpected labor demand. You have no resource of people that you can pull on. But why is it also important to have more full-time employees than part-time employees? Because for turnover, if you've got too many part-time employees and they oftentimes are looking for full-time somewhere, right? They are probably not going to be fully invested in your business. It's just the nature of people who are part-time. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they're looking for full-time work. So they're either going to find something else that draws them away because it's hard for them to fully commit to your business. So having a strong foundation for staff of full-time employees allows you to support them. They support you. You have more stability. And then you have part-time employees that might have other jobs, there might be looking for full-time that you're kind of testing out, seeing how they do, so on and so forth. So this is going to play a big role in how many employees you have overall. What's the next point in all of this? Based on your sales, you have to work your way backwards in terms of how much labor you need on a given day. So just for the sake of a clear example, if you project that you're going to make $1,000 a day and you have labor goals of 30%, that means you have $300 worth of labor that you can spend in that given day. And then if you start going, okay, well, based on the fact that I can spend $300, maybe the average minimum wage or wage that you're paying people in your business is $10 an hour, right? So now you know I have 30 labor hours that I can divide up between how many people are going to come into that day. Usually people want to have longer shifts. You wouldn't want to have a bunch of people come in for 2 hours, 3 hours. It wouldn't be worth their time, right? So usually people work between 6 and 8 hours on a given shift. So that's the way to think about working your way backwards from the sales to assess how many employees you might need, because every business projections are going to be different. You might be looking to do $500 a day. You might be looking to do $2,000 a day, but you have to start staffing things according to those numbers in themselves. So those are the key things to think about in terms of number of employees. The other little tip, trick thing that you need to be aware of, especially early on in your business, in the first phase, overhire. If you think you need 12, hire 15. If you think you need 10, hire 12 to 13. Why? Because there's going to be people who don't make it. There's going to be people who don't, make it through that first initial phase of your business. And you want to not be trying to hire people when you're scrambling. It's going to put more pressure on you and more pressure on the business. Okay. So have more people to choose from and find out who's going to make it, because I see oftentimes you don't know who your great employees are going to be. You don't know who your problem employees are going to be. And some people don't even make it through training. So overhire slightly, in my perspective, 10, 15, 20%, because some people are going to quit. They're just not going to show up, or you're going to find some people that you want to let go of naturally. So have that padding and expect for that to come up. And that's the message for today. I hope this has been helpful. Questions, or if you are looking for more in-depth support, reach me at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. We have a full-scale development firm. We can take you from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. Last few announcements. Follow us on Instagram @StartAJuiceBar. Easy to find. We have exclusive giveaways and content that we only release there, recipes and things like that. And then if you like podcasts, we have a podcast on Spotify and on iTunes. It's called the Juice Bar Experts Podcast. Also easy to find. Questions or comments, you know where it goes. If you just like the video and you want to tell me that you like the content, I appreciate hearing that. That's all for today. Wishing you guys a lot of success. See you the next one. Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you're inspired to learn even more about how to start your juice business from scratch, for you, we have a free ebook. It's called the 15 Steps to Starting Your Juice Business. And this is going to go through a high-level overview, through a step-by-step process on how you get your business off the ground. Everything from, branding, menu development, finding the right location, and more. This is going to be a clear roadmap so you know how to go from where you are all the way to opening your store. If you want to go even deeper, we've also created an online course. It's called the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great depth on everything from how do you put together and think about recipe development? How do you cost out your menu, and what's the math around it? What equipment do you need? How do you design your store? How do you find the right location? And so much more. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of both of these. There's links in the description below. So I hope to see you guys at the next video, and enjoy.